The illusion of constant action. We live in an age where busyness has become a badge of honor. People proudly say, "I'm so busy," as if exhaustion were proof of success. From the moment we wake up, we are told to do more, earn more, achieve more, become more. Productivity is glorified, while stillness is mistaken for laziness. And so, we keep running, filling every hour with tasks, every silence with noise, every pause with distraction. But here is the untold truth. Constant action does not equal progress. Just because you are moving does not mean you are moving forward. Think about a hamster on a wheel. It runs endlessly, expending enormous energy, but it never actually goes anywhere. This is what many of us do with our lives. We wake up and run from one responsibility to the next, one project to another, one desire after the other, thinking that busyness means we are living with purpose. Yet inside, we feel emptier than ever. The illusion of constant action deceives us into believing we are advancing, when in reality, we are only spinning in circles. The real danger of this illusion is that it blinds us to meaning. When you are always doing, you rarely ask yourself why. Why am I working so hard? Why am I chasing this goal? Why am I running after validation? Without pausing to reflect, you risk climbing the wrong ladder, reaching the wrong destination, and realizing too late that you were chasing what never truly mattered. This illusion also robs you of presence. While your hands are busy, your mind is already on tomorrow. While your body is here, your spirit is somewhere else. You are always rushing toward the future, yet never really arriving. Life becomes a checklist, and in the process, you miss the actual experience of living. You forget to watch the sunset because you're chasing deadlines. You forget to laugh deeply because you're worrying about what's next. Why?
I'll forget to simply be. And perhaps the most dangerous effect of this illusion is that it disconnects you from yourself. The more you drown in action, the less you hear the voice of your own soul. The constant noise of doing drowns out the gentle wisdom of being. You begin to measure your worth by how much you accomplish rather than by who you are. And slowly, without realizing it, you become a stranger to yourself. But here is the awakening truth. You were not created to run endlessly. The purpose of life is not to be busy, but to be aware. You are not here to chase every second. You are here to live every second. Action has its place, but action without reflection, without stillness, becomes meaningless. The secret power of doing nothing is that it shatters the illusion of constant action and brings you back to yourself. So pause, step off the wheel, breathe. Doing nothing is not laziness, it is clarity. It is wisdom. It is choosing presence over pressure. For only when you break the illusion of constant action do you finally begin to live.
Silence speaks louder than noise. We live in a world drowning in noise. Notifications ping every few seconds. Conversations overlap. Advertisements scream for attention. And even our own minds never seem to stop talking. We have been conditioned to fear silence, to rush to fill every quiet space with sound, distraction, or activity. But here lies the secret most people overlook. Silence is not emptiness, it is power. Silence speaks louder than noise, if only you have the courage to listen. When you step into silence, the first thing you notice is the chatter of your own mind. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your thoughts race, your worries get louder, and you may feel restless. This is why so many people run from silence. They cannot face themselves. But if you stay, if you allow the silence to hold you, something extraordinary begins to happen. The noise in your head starts to settle, just as muddy water clears when left undisturbed. And slowly, beneath the chaos, you hear something deeper, the voice of your own soul. This is the hidden gift of silence. It reveals truth. In the noise of life, we are pulled in 1,000 directions by opinions, comparisons, and expectations. Everyone has advice, everyone has demands, everyone has noise to pour into us. But in silence, all of that fades. What remains is your inner compass, your authentic voice, your higher self. Doing nothing, sitting quietly, allows you to access wisdom that has always been inside you, waiting to be heard. Silence is also deeply healing. Think about nature. The forest is not loud with endless chatter, yet it is alive. The ocean does not shout, yet its waves hold immense power. A mountain stands silently, yet it radiates strength. In the same way, when you embrace silence, you begin to heal from the chaos of modern life. Stress, anxiety, and fear begin to loosen their grip. You remember that peace is not found in adding more, but in removing the excess noise that clouds your spirit. And here's something powerful. Silence makes you stronger in action. Most people believe that constant talking, constant doing, constant reacting shows strength, but strength actually comes from stillness. A person who has mastered silence has mastered themselves. They do not need to shout to be heard, because their presence speaks louder than their words. They do not rush to prove themselves, because their calmness radiates confidence. Silence also deepens your relationships. When you truly listen instead of waiting to respond, you connect with people on a soul level. When you create space for others in silence, they feel valued and seen. Love grows not in endless noise, but in the sacred, quiet moments of understanding. Spiritually, silence is where we meet the divine. It is in stillness that prayers are answered, not always with words, but with peace that surpasses understanding. Silence is the language of the soul, and through it, we connect with the infinite. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, don't add more noise. Seek silence. Sit, breathe, listen. You will discover that silence is not empty. It is full of answers. It is in silence that you awaken to the deepest truths of who you are and why you are here. The healing of rest. In a world that glorifies hustle, rest is often treated as weakness. People wear their exhaustion like a medal of honor, boasting about sleepless nights, endless deadlines, and constant productivity. But the truth is, without rest, you are not living. You are only surviving. Rest is not laziness. Rest is healing. Rest is how your soul, your body, and your mind restore balance. Think of the earth itself. After every harvest, the soil is left to rest, to regain its nutrients before it can produce again. Even the mightiest ocean has tides that ebb and flow, retreating before returning with power. The sun sets every night, surrendering to the stillness of darkness before rising with brilliance again. Everything in creation has rhythms of work and rest. So why do we believe we can break this law of nature and keep going endlessly without pausing? Rest is the sacred pause that allows healing to happen. Physically, when you allow your body to rest, you give it the power to repair itself. Muscles recover, immunity strengthens, energy is restored. Mentally, when you rest, your mind untangles itself from the knots of stress and confusion. Ideas settle, clarity returns, and perspective deepens. Spiritually, rest is even more profound. It reconnects you to your essence, reminding you that you are not just a machine built to produce, but a soul meant to experience peace. The absence of rest is what breeds burnout, anxiety, and emptiness. When you keep running without pause, you may achieve a lot, but inside you begin to break. You lose joy in what you do because you no longer have space to breathe. You lose touch with yourself because you're too busy to listen to your own heart. You lose connection with the divine because stillness is the gateway to spiritual awareness. But when you embrace rest, something miraculous happens. You begin to heal. Rest allows you to release the weight of constant striving. It teaches you that you are worthy not because of what you do, but because of who you are. In moments of deep rest, your nervous system calms, your emotions soften, and your spirit remembers its wholeness. Rest is not just a break from life. It is part of life's sacred design. And rest does not always mean sleep, though sleep is vital.
Rest can be sitting quietly with a book. Rest can be walking slowly in nature. Rest can be breathing deeply with no agenda. Rest can be silence, prayer, meditation, or simply staring at the sky. The form does not matter. What matters is the intention to stop, to pause, to allow yourself to simply be. The secret power of doing nothing lies here. In rest, you find renewal. In rest, you heal wounds that constant action cannot. In rest, you discover that life does not collapse when you pause, it expands. Your soul was not designed for endless struggle. It was designed to rise and fall like waves, to work and to rest, to give and to receive. So honor the rhythm of rest, let it heal you, for in rest you do not lose time, you gain life. The art of presence. Doing nothing is often misunderstood. To many, it looks like wasting time, like idleness. But in truth, doing nothing is one of the most profound arts of living. It is the art of presence. Presence means fully arriving in the here and now without rushing toward tomorrow or clinging to yesterday. It is choosing to be in this very moment with your whole being instead of letting your mind wander in 1,000 directions. We live in a culture addicted to distraction. Even when we sit down, we reach for our phones. Even when we eat, we scroll. Even when we walk, our minds are planning the next meeting, the next task, the next achievement. We are rarely here. We are everywhere else. And because of this, life slips through our fingers. We may live many years, but without presence, we have not truly lived a single moment deeply. The art of presence is about reclaiming those moments. It is learning to taste your food instead of rushing through it. It is feeling the warmth of sunlight on your skin instead of ignoring it. It is listening to someone not just with your ears, but with your heart, without preparing your reply, without being distracted. It is realizing that the smallest, simplest moments are not interruptions to life. They are life itself. Presence transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. A cup of tea becomes a meditation. A conversation becomes sacred connection. A walk outside becomes communion with nature. When you are present, nothing is wasted. Every breath becomes meaningful. But presence requires practice. The mind is restless. It loves to dwell in the past or rush into the future. Presence is the discipline of bringing it back again and again to now. Sometimes this means sitting quietly and noticing your breath. Sometimes it means gazing at the sky without needing to label it or capture it in a photo. Sometimes it means doing nothing at all, just existing, allowing life to simply be. The power of presence is that it frees you from pressure. When you are fully present, you are no longer comparing yourself to others, no longer rushing to achieve, no longer chained by what if and what's next. You are enough right here, in this moment. Presence is freedom. Spiritually, presence is where we meet eternity. God does not live in your regrets of yesterday or your anxieties of tomorrow. The divine meets you here, in this heartbeat, in this breath. When you are present, you open yourself to grace, to wisdom, to the beauty of being alive. So the next time someone tells you that doing nothing is wasted time, remember this: doing nothing is the highest form of presence. It is choosing to stop running, to stop distracting, to simply exist. And in that existence, you discover the fullness of life. Presence is not about escaping life. It is about finally living it. Doing nothing awakens creativity. We are taught that creativity is born from hard work, from constant effort, from always doing. But the truth is, many of the world's greatest ideas, breakthroughs, and inventions did not come in moments of intense activity. They came in moments of stillness, in moments that looked like doing nothing. Think about it. Archimedes discovered his principle while relaxing in a bath.
Isaac Newton formulated the law of gravity while sitting quietly under a tree. Countless artists, poets, and musicians speak of their best ideas, arriving not when they were forcing themselves to create, but when they were resting, wondering, or simply being. What does this teach us? That the mind is most creative, not when it is crowded with tasks, but when it is spacious and still. Doing nothing is like clearing the clutter from a room. When your mind is busy with endless to-do lists, comparisons, and distractions, there is no space for inspiration to flow. But when you allow yourself to pause, to sit in silence, to breathe, to stare at the sky, you create room for new ideas to enter. Creativity thrives in open spaces, not in crowded ones. The power of doing nothing is that it allows the subconscious mind to work. Even when you are not actively thinking, your mind is processing, connecting, and weaving ideas together beneath the surface. That is why solutions to problems often appear when you are showering, walking, or resting, not when you are forcing yourself to think harder. Stillness gives your mind permission to breathe, and in that breathing, brilliance is born. But creativity is not just about solving problems or producing art. It is about living with imagination. When you do nothing, you begin to see the world differently. A tree is no longer just a tree. It becomes a story. A shadow becomes a shape of mystery. A silence becomes music. Doing nothing, awaken, is a childlike wonder that modern life often buries under responsibility and routine. This is why spiritual traditions around the world emphasize stillness as a pathway to awakening. When you quiet the noise, you not only find peace, you also open the channel to inspiration. Whether you call it intuition, divine guidance, or creativity, the truth is the same. Stillness awakens possibilities that busyness keeps hidden. And remember, doing nothing does not mean being unproductive. On the contrary, it makes your work more meaningful. A rested mind produces better ideas. A quiet heart creates more authentic art. A soul that has space can give more to the world. The paradox is this: the less you force yourself to create, the more creativity flows naturally through you. So, give yourself permission to pause, to sit in silence, to wander without a goal, to do absolutely nothing. Because in those moments, you are not wasting time. You are planting seeds of inspiration. You are allowing your soul to speak, your imagination to dance, and your spirit to remind you that you are not just here to work. You are here to create. Doing nothing is not the death of creativity. It is its birthplace. The spiritual power of stillness. Beneath the surface of life's noise and chaos lies a truth that many never discover. Stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is not absence. It is presence. When you stop running, stop striving, and allow yourself to simply be, you enter into one of the most profound spiritual states a human being can experience. The secret power of doing nothing is not just physical rest or mental clarity. It is the awakening of the soul through stillness. Stillness is surrender. It is letting go of the constant need to control, to predict, to prove, to achieve. It is admitting, I don't have to hold the whole world on my shoulders. I don't have to fix everything. I don't have to constantly strive to be worthy. In stillness, you return to the truth that your value is not based on your performance. It is inherent, eternal, and unshakable. In the quiet of stillness, something extraordinary happens. You begin to sense the presence of the divine, the voice of God, of Source, of Spirit, whatever name you choose to give, is rarely heard in noise, but in silence. It is in those moments of doing nothing that you suddenly feel guided, reassured, and embraced by something greater than yourself. This is why so many spiritual traditions across the world place meditation, prayer, or contemplation at the center of awakening. Because it is in the stillness that heaven speaks. Stillness also teaches humility. When you pause, you realize that the universe continues without your constant effort. The sun rises, the tides flow, the earth spins, all without your hand. You are reminded that you are a part of something vast, something sacred, something eternal. This realization frees you from the illusion of control and fills you with trust. You no longer feel the pressure to run endlessly because you know life has its own divine rhythm and you are being carried within I. The spiritual power of stillness is also healing. In stillness, your inner wounds rise to the surface, not to harm you, but to be seen, acknowledged, and healed. Stillness is a safe space where your soul whispers, "Here is where you are hurting. Here is what you need to release. Here is where you need to forgive." Without the noise of busyness, you finally face yourself, not as the world expects you to be, but as you truly are. And in that honest meeting, healing begins. Most importantly, stillness awakens you to the truth of existence. You begin to realize that life's purpose is not in rushing, achieving, or collecting trophies. Its purpose is in being aware, being connected, being love itself. In stillness, you remember that you are not separate from life, but a part of its sacred flow. You are not a machine created to do. You are a soul created to be. So the next time you feel guilty for pausing, remember this: stillness is not weakness, and doing nothing is not wasted time. In stillness, you meet yourself. In stillness, you meet the divine. And in stillness, you discover the secret power that transforms not only your life, but your very soul, awakening to the power of stillness. As we reach the end of this journey together, take a moment to reflect. The world has convinced us that worth comes only from doing, that the more we achieve, the faster we run, the busier we become, the more valuable we are. But deep down, you now know the truth. Your worth was never tied to your speed, your achievements, or your busyness. Your worth is eternal, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to stop and simply be. Doing nothing is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is choosing presence over pressure, awareness over anxiety, depth over distraction. When you pause, when you allow yourself moments of stillness, you step into a state where life reveals its hidden beauty. You begin to see clearly what was clouded by noise. You begin to hear the voice of your soul. You begin to feel the quiet presence of the divine guiding you in ways that constant busyness could never allow. Think about it. Every great rhythm in life has pauses. Music without silence is only noise. A heartbeat without rest would collapse. Seasons of the earth come with winters of stillness that prepare for springs of growth. Why should your life be any different? Your pauses do not make you fall behind. They prepare you to rise stronger, clearer, and more alive. And here lies the secret. When you allow yourself to do nothing, you discover that you are not wasting time. You are reclaiming it. Those quiet moments become the most important ones. They heal your body, calm your mind, nurture your soul, and awaken your creativity. They remind you that life is not about how much you do, but about how deeply you live. So the next time guilt creeps in when you pause, remember this: the tree does not apologize for standing still, yet it gives shade and fruit. The ocean does not rush, yet its waves shape the shore. The mountain does not move, yet its prickles. Essence inspires awe, and in the same way, your stillness holds power. My dear listener, let this be your awakening. You do not always need to run. You do not always need to prove. You do not always need to fill every second. Sometimes the most profound growth comes when you sit in silence, when you breathe deeply, when you do absolutely nothing,